Today we are to start with the topic Gauss law statement and proof we'll be discussing over here. So then we'll be doing derivation of Coulomb's law from Gauss law. So by now you are very clear with the concepts of electric flux and area vector. I hope you who have done it earlier. So what is electric flux? Firstly, we'll be revising those concepts a little while because they are very important part of this theorem. So electric flux is what? Electric flux we define as it is the number of electric field lines that cross a surface perpendicular in a perpendicular direction. So how many electric field lines are crossing a surface, that is known as the electric flux. So as you can see, so electric flux is always the number of electric field lines that are crossing the surface. Number of electric field lines crossing the surface, that is called electric flux when a surface is placed inside the electric field. So field lines will cross only when the surface is placed inside the electric field. So inside the electric field a surface is placed. So how many electric field lines are passing through the surface perpendicular to the area, that is known as electric flux related with the surface. And area vector, you know, when you have this area, so area is the surface covered by any object, so that is the area. So when we define area in physics, we treat area as a vector quantity. So the area vector is a vector of a plane surface whose magnitude is equal to area of the figure and whose direction is that of a perpendicular to the plane of figure. Its direction is always perpendicular to the surface, so that is called an area vector. Electric flux and area vector, these are two very important definitions of this part of the physics. So I hope you got this. Next we will be doing Gauss law. Now what is Gauss law? Gauss law we'll be doing now. So Gauss law, it was a statement, it was a theorem given by Gauss, which states that when a closed surface is present and a charge is placed inside the closed surface, the total electric flux coming out of a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed inside the surface. So Gauss law states that the total electric flux coming out of a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed inside the surface. So when a charge is placed around a surface, inside a surface maybe, so electric field will be there only due to the charge. Now how do we calculate how many electric field lines are coming out of the surface? We did electric field lines, but they are the imaginary lines. Then how do we calculate how many electric field lines are coming out of surface? So that is using Gauss law, which states that the total flux is electric field multiplied by area vector. Its physical definition, electric field multiplied by area vector. You can see the integral sign is having a circle over it. That is the total electric flux out of a closed surface. That circle represents the closed surface is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. 1 by epsilon naught times the charge. If Q is the charge inside the surface, then E dot ds, the closed integral, is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. Is it clear? So this is Gauss law. It is a relation between electric flux and the charge enclosed inside the surface. Okay. Next is how do we prove Gauss law? So we'll be doing this proof for spherically symmetric surface. So for a spherically symmetric surface, as you can see, let us suppose that we have a charge Q placed at the center at a point O. So we draw a sphere around this. So at every point on the surface, electric field will be same. And we know that this electric field, we did it in the first chapter of this unit, that electric field due to a point charge. So electric field due to a point charge is given as 1 by 4 epsilon naught Q upon R square. Since electric field is a vector quantity, so the direction will be along the radius of the sphere. So let us suppose that a charge plus q is placed at the center of the sphere O, and we draw and we have to find electric field at point r. At any point on the surface of sphere, electric field is E. So that electric field is given according to this formula, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square. R cap is the direction. Since we have a positive charge, from a positive charge electric field lines move out of the surface. So electric field we know, ds is the area vector. Suppose first we find the electric flux through a very small surface, ds. So from this small surface ds we have to find electric field. So ds, a vector, area vector, is equal to area multiplied by its magnitude. So area is ds, area vector is area, magnitude of area multiplied by a unit vector in the direction normal to the surface. So here it is taken as ds is the magnitude multiplied by n cap, a unit vector in a direction normal to the surface, ds into n cap. So we know we are going to find electric flux because we have to prove Gauss law. So for finding out the flux, what we do is, flux is d phi. Through this small surface the flux is d phi, so d phi is E dot ds. So multiplied, we use value of electric field dot product ds into n cap. So the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square ds, these are all the scalar quantities. We take it out, r dot n. You can see from the figure, r cap and n cap, the two unit vectors, they are in the same direction. So r dot n is equal to 1 into 1 cos of 0. A dot b is ab cos theta. Magnitude of r cap is 1, n cap is 1, and direction is the same. So angle between them is 0 degree. So r dot n comes out to be 1. Therefore we get d phi is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square into ds. This is the flux coming out of the small surface ds. But we have to find the total flux. So total flux, we know a small quantity, we have to find the total. So what we do, we integrate the whole equation. So integrating d phi, we get the total flux. So integral of d phi, the constant factors 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square is taken out into integral of ds. Integral of ds is area, total area. So total area of the sphere, and we know the total area of sphere is 4 pi r square. So we get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square into 4 pi r square. 4 pi and 4 pi cancels out, r square and r square cancels out. What is left is q upon epsilon naught. So thus the total flux coming out of the surface is q upon epsilon naught. This is what Gauss law states. So flux is q upon epsilon naught. So this is the proof of Gauss law. Spherically symmetric surfaces means those surfaces like sphere. So at every point on the surface, it has the same properties. So that is spherically symmetric surface. So for spherically symmetric surface, this is the proof that total flux is q upon epsilon naught. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so let us move now to the next part, that is Coulomb's law from Gauss law. So till this point we did two important law. First law we did in the first chapter, that is Coulomb's law, and here we did Gauss law. So these are two basic laws of electrostatics. The whole of electrostatics, it depends upon these two laws. So can we derive first law, that is Coulomb's law, from Gauss law? Yes, we can derive. So how do we derive Coulomb's law from Gauss law? So for that, let us say we'll be seeing this proof. So we know Gauss law. So for that also we consider a charge plus q is placed at point O. Okay, we take a point P at a distance r from O, and we draw a sphere. So every point on the sphere, electric field will be same. We have to find it out. So we know that flux is Gauss law we just did. Flux is Q upon epsilon naught. The total flux coming out of the surface is Q upon epsilon naught. Now, electric field and area vector, they are in the same direction. So, flux is given as E dot ds. There are two definitions of flux. One is flux is E dot ds. It's the product of electric field and area vector. Another is Gauss law says that flux is Q upon epsilon naught. So when we use this E dot ds and we multiply them, what we get? E dot ds. Electric field is in, it moves away from the surface, and ds is also in the same direction, so the angle between them will be 0. E dot ds, that is equal to E ds cos of theta, that is cos of 0, that is 1. So what we get? Flux is E into ds, and Gauss law says that flux is Q upon epsilon naught. Now electric field E is constant, we take it out, into integral of ds is Q upon epsilon naught. Okay, so integral of ds will be total area, that is 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square is Q upon epsilon naught, or if we take all those vector 4 pi r square on the other side, we get E is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. This is the value of electric field at this point on the surface of the sphere. Now if we place another charge Q naught at this point, so we know that a charge placed in electric field will always experience some force. So the force experienced by this charge will be Q naught into E, that is Q naught into Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, or in other words 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q naught upon r square. This is nothing but Coulomb's law. So this is derivation of Coulomb's law from Gauss law. That's all till now. Thanks a lot. Thank you.